Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're having a round table,
Square
or rectangle table discussion with Raygan on all the episodes that he's put out for Unscripted. I'm Ivy Minta, a social media manager, and I'm here with...
Hi, my name is Nimoni. I am a 3D animator and product designer.
Hi, I'm SHARON, a social media manager.
Right.
That's all.
That's all.
Yeah.
Please,
And I sometimes talk like for a living.
we're looking here, so mention your name again.
Hi, I'm SHARON, a social media manager, and I sometimes talk like for a living.
All right. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for the intro too as well. So guys, we are going to do a recap of the season 2 episodes we put out. These are like the consistent viewers, if I should say. The others we reached out to that were busy then couldn't come out. If you're watching this and you watch all the videos, please don't say we didn't invite you. Maybe next time. All right, so guys, we are going to... Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. Don't be a next time.
You know what I mean? So we are going to... I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions, a discussion. If this person is saying something, wants to say something, you can just chime in. If she's talking too much and you want to cut her, please feel free to cut her. So what has been your favorite episode so far? And why?
Yeah, mine has been Echo's, and I can't choose between Ads God and Echo Band's episode.
Why?
Because Ad God is someone I know, and then I've been with him for a very long time, and so I like some of the things that he was saying, I understood them more coming from him, and because I've rode with him a couple of times, I was privy to some of the information, but not like all of it. So I was happy to get to know that side of him. And I've seen him do interviews before, but this was quite different. So I saw some growth and it was really interesting. For Echo Bands, I think Echo Bands is someone that a lot of creatives in Ghana look up to or admire his work. So it was nice to get him like in a chill spot like Raygan's and then have him talk about the things that go behind the work that he does. Because most of the time we see the beautiful visuals out there. I remember showing one of his videos to someone. Someone was like, "Sisi adie." Or because film and one there with triangles. Like you get angles and then you put some African drums and transitions on it, and then you think you've done so much work. But it was good that he took us behind the scenes and how he even got there. So those were my 2 favorite episodes.
Beautiful. We'll come to some things to learn from those episodes since you mentioned those are your favorite. Nimoni.
Oh, for me, straight out is Ads God.
Because you're a 3D artist.
I mean, we are in the same category, and I do a lot. I don't want to say I do a lot of talking, but I
do a lot of talking.
I like to know more about people leading the industry. And ever since I started animation, Ads God has always been the person that, like, anytime I mention 3D to someone, and if they even know anything about it, his name is the next to pop up. Wow. So having that in-depth like video, him explaining how he started. Also, we started in a similar way. I remember he mentioned he didn't plan to do this. Yeah. I also never planned to do any of this. I was just like having fun on my computer. It's another story. But I was also just there. So watching that video gave me like so much insight, so much relation, so many hidden gems in there. And it was...
So far, that's good. Wow, interesting. Yapa.
My favorite episode is probably the one with Julian, because he really he is pretty practical. I think that's why I liked the episode, and it was pretty relatable, like because of the way he broke down his entrepreneurial journey and even his creative journey, and how like he likes to take creatives on board and how he likes to build things and how it was like pretty realistic about what it takes to build in Ghana and even like beyond Ghana. And I have just one favorite episode, and that's it, the one with Julian.
Shout out to Ads God and Julian. I don't have any favorite episode. Please don't ask me.
Not even the ones that you went to jog.
I liked all the conversations because the reason why I started Unscripted was because I wanted to learn from people.
History.
I think when we started, okay, I'd mentioned this with the interview I did with Jeff, but I'll say it here. When we started, the name was Hi. Anytime I remember the name, I don't even know why these guys were supporting it. The name was Know Your Tech Buddy.
Oh,
That was the initial. That was the initial name we were going with, and the reason was, like I think we were saying something similar. There are people that are doing interesting work, amazing work, but then you don't get to interact with them. You don't get to hear their stories. So I was like, why not just bring these people in the tech industry to hear their stories? That was what I had in mind. Then when we were about to shoot the first episode, I was like, I don't want it to be just tech. I think creatives will also make it nice. And then I was like, okay, now how do I combine both? Because creatives fall in a different, if you look at like the photographers, videographers, the designers, they fall in a different industry. So Henson, I was like, let's just go to ChatGPT. Why are you smiling?
Yeah, he told me about it.
Let's go to ChatGPT. Let's ask if, shout out to Henson. So we went online, asked a few questions, and he gave it, I think, like 10 names. There was chit chat, something. Then I saw Unscripted. I was like, I think I like this one because I want the interviews to just be like vibe.
Yeah, it's just flow.
Do you know all the questions I listed for season 1? I never asked. I sent the PDF to them. Like, oh, this is the question we asked. They come and I don't even ask one question from. So I was just like, yo, bro, let's just go with the vibe. Unscripted was taken, online, and that's why I added the with Raygan. Maybe someday somebody will be hosting it, and I don't know if I'm still going to keep it unscripted with Raygan or anything, but yeah.
But it's not like with Raygan, the company, so it doesn't matter if you're not the one.
Okay, that's actually true.
Like, go that one, as always.
This guy is so proud. Anyways, as God and Ekoban, what was like one thing that stood out for you? You can share something else from the other episodes because I'm sure you took something from there. But what was like one thing that stood out for you from those episodes?
So watching both episodes, right? I decided to connect like things that were similar in their journeys, and one of them was how they didn't plan to go on that particular journey. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, right, some of the people that you see, we all go to the university and we try to study to become something. And at the end of the day, majority of us don't even end up going on that path. Yeah. Like Hinton, he was an engineer, but then he ended up being a designer. I, on the other hand, completed school with a different, like something else to do. And then now I'm doing something else. So these two people had like two things that were driving them, not because it was something they planned to do, but they found their interest and then they decided to pursue it and then be the best at it. Mm-hmm. Another thing that they both mentioned is something that I also, I talk about all the time, is continuous learning. Mm-hmm. Like the space has evolved from the time that we saw these people coming up and then now, and then they are still relevant. They are able to use the newest tools. They are able to still relate to their audience and provide the work that is needed in this current age. And so I think that most of that has to do with continuous learning, always making sure that you're up to date and then knowing what's up so that you can go with the times. And yeah. Another thing was that the space that they found themselves in is not necessarily a space that we pay attention to in this country. And so for them to have to find their way, and there's been projects that I've worked with Ads God on, and they're not necessarily based in Ghana. And the struggle, sometimes some of the things that these people ask you, you go back and you think like, how are we even working in this country? It's not that you don't know how to go about your work, but even the one giving you the job seems to know more than you do. And that's because we don't invest in some of these things that we do. We don't necessarily regard them as careers. And so that's one thing I picked. However, they found their way around it. And as he said, when you mentioned 3D, Ads God's name is one of the first to pop up in the country. Same as Ekoban's when you talk about creative production, fashion, in some of these areas. And one of the Ghanaians who has run so some of us can walk is Eko. So in that regard, I feel like their journeys are similar. And these are some of the things that I took. One person's conversation doubled down on the first one that I listened to.
Beautiful. Imani, yours is mainly on the design part or the 3D part?
Yeah, so for me, I do 3D animation. But I just like to mention that although that's my main thing, I actually am familiar with, in order to be a good 3D person, you need to know like outside. So like you need to at least be familiar with video editing, all of that. Yeah. But one of the things that I can say I picked from Arts God is he mentioned something that I haven't been taking seriously, and in fact, that's one of the things that I'm trying to up my game at. He spoke about how he brands himself.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense. It made so much sense because, look, when you see Arts God, right, from his dressing, like when you see him in real life and when you see him online, like his work is amazing, but like even when you're like not looking at one particular,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like you can see there.
Actually, I've exposed myself because all right, I'm very, very quiet. But like, I got his website a lot. When you go there, you kind of already know that you're not lost. Like I've never used his. Okay, I won't say I have, but when I'm looking for his website, I just type it in, and then when I'm there, you would know that this is Arts God. You do now need to go back to Instagram and confirm I'm at the correct website. Like the vibe is consistent.
He designed it himself.
And it's just top. When you go to his Behance page, you can see that, look, if this guy is running your project, you don't need to be worried about anything. Like the branding, and there's always some element of it was done by me. Like I know he does music visualizers for people. You could already kind of guess or have an idea that most likely Arts God kind of worked on this. Let me just leave it there. let me leave it there. I don't want to explain too much.
Well, I mean, on the topic on branding, I think it's important because a lot of people are good, but they don't know how to put themselves outside.
Exactly.
Oh no, you're doing good.
I was struggling with that too.
Because like, I think Arts God even mentioned it comes down to even the way you dress, the way you talk. Like, because somebody can see, and who mentioned it? I think Ekoto mentioned it. Somebody can see your amazing work, but then they interact with you and the way you talk, the way you respond, the way you communicate is bad. Charlie, forget it.
And you know what? Like when that happens, whoever you're interacting with begins to doubt the fact that you are the one who actually does the work.
Exactly.
Because people take contracts and give it to other people to finish the job. And so like when people see you, your expertise should be an extension of you. Because
it's like once somebody see an online person, they put like a picture to it, like, okay, this is the work. Okay, this person might be like this. So if they meet you and they're seeing something different, like, nah, this is not it.
That's me online. That's me. I feel like every time I appear and then like we're about to discuss work, there's always some form of difference between me and my work, and people are like, I have to wake up. Yeah, that's what we are doing this year.
What's the question again?
What you took from Julian's episode?
Oh yeah, one thing I took from this episode was that like two things actually. First of all, like no one really cares, and not because like it's no one cares, but like actually nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, and relating that to social media, I would say like nobody. Some people like would. I've heard like a lot on social media. People say, "Oh, I want to start XYZ, but I don't know. Like, I want to do this. I'm not sure." Like, and I'm like, just do it. Like, it's not that deep. Cause really, like, you're thinking. I remember one time I was talking to one guy here. We were in a particular meeting, and we're talking about like being active on social media, and I think he and somebody else, and another person talking about how like he's not really sure, he wants to take his time, because he doesn't know what to do, and he's not sure how to take it. I'm like, just do it. It's like nobody really cares, and it actually like goes across even like business, everything you do, like, cause you might think that maybe somebody is somewhere watching, or what would they say, but nobody's actually thinking about you. Yeah, like nobody's thinking about you. I think a second thing I learned from him is like kind of the same thing, like putting yourself out there, because like especially with what you do. I was in one of the episodes on the Netflix podcast and personal branding, something about that. Like sometimes I think you mentioned it, like how sometimes you might be looking for a job, right? And like you actually like go through your social media to see if like you have like an extension of your career out there. Like it can also serve as a mini portfolio in a way.
It does. Because where I currently work, I started working there like 2 years ago. And when I was in the interview, I was like, these people stopped me because he knew I was in mentorship on campus, everything. I was like, he has gone through my social media. He knows I have a YouTube channel. I was like, bro, this is wow. And that was actually why they came for me, because I was not just working, but then I was kind of giving out information, and they liked that bit. So It's important.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I think that's like a part, because like I really relate to this episode on a very personal level, because most of the things that he shared, like I really related to it. So yeah, basically just that.
Nobody cares.
Coming off Sharon's with a nobody cares. I also always say, when I started my career, I met people, like I've worked with people, and some of them are so freaking rude. Like, see, and sometimes I would cry. Like I would cry because things got to me, and I was new, and there wasn't anywhere, like anyone to talk to about, I'm pursuing this, I need a mentor. There wasn't. I would cry. Sometime later, I realized that no one owes you kindness. And it's like,
yeah, no one
I
owes
don't
you
know how
anything,
else to say it, but no one owes you anything. Yours is to go and not like work like a mercenary, but have them go and get the job done, get out. Like if there's any other contributions you can do, even though it's not in your area, you can still give. But no one owes you kindness. No one owes it to you to be nice to you, to care about your feelings. No one freaking cares.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, when that thing happened, this particular, like some of these things happened with one particular brand I worked with. And I always say this, like whenever I tell you about the sad things that went on there, I always add that I learned a lot with that particular person. I learned how to do, tell stories with carousels, Instagram posts. And it is something that's, I never thought I didn't even think it was a thing. But that's how I learned that particular thing. I learned how to correlate posts to their captions in such a way that when you look at a post, by extension, it's like you're continuing the story with it. It doesn't start with, you have the post, the caption talks about the post, and that's just it. Right. The caption needs to be an extension of whatever media that you're putting. See, I learned a lot. And now I always tell people, don't think about it. No one owes it to be nice to you.
I think a Koban's episode, we touched on something like that about emotions. See, working is working. I mean, as an individual, you have to be kind to people. You have to be nice and all that. But at that point in time, there are so many factors that somebody can be rude to you and probably they didn't even think about it. You take it to heart, you worry yourself. No, honestly, because where I used to work 2 years ago, it was a crypto company. Like, the company was moving too fast for the number of employees. I used to get so tired. Honestly, I cried one time. So when she said I cried, that was when I remember. Because I was a lead designer there. I was like, bro, I'm tired. But then I thought about it, like, first off, they're paying you. Secondly, they've promised clients timelines and all that.
And you agreed.
Yeah, agreed. So bro, just get the job done. You're tired, but you have to be nice to people. But when it comes to the work, it has to be, no, nobody cares whether it's eating, nobody cares whether
I remember that episode, that was just so straight out.
It's fun. When Derek interviewed me, he was like, Raygan, what made you start all these things? And why did you start putting yourself out there to work more? And I'm like, the moment you realize or you understand that nobody cares about what goes on in your life, you take responsibilities for yourself. Because if tomorrow I wake up, one thing about people is, especially good news and bad news. Bad news really goes far. Right? When tomorrow I wake up and my camera and things happen, I'm like, bro, this is what happened to us. The news will go far, but at the end of the day, and for beyond that, content will not come out. Nobody cares. You just need to understand.
Thoughts and prayers.
Sorry. You just have to keep going.
Also, with the consistent branding thing that she spoke about, you remember we worked on a brand, and before they brought him on board, they requested for some things, even his Ghana card. Now, what that particular brand does is they have an agency somewhere outside the country that can find anything about you on the internet. So when you mentioned that the people you used to work with knew that you had mentorship sessions, like you were a mentor on Camus and all of that, these things translate into who you are and your career. There are some people that if they're going to employ you, they will scour the internet to find out who you are.
True.
Now, they do that, and that's their first impression of you. Because that happens before an interview.
Exactly.
So that's their first impression of you. So you coming there, it's not necessarily
They've
to
already
give
seen-
first
yeah, they've already
impression.
seen you.
It's just to make them understand that what they've seen is the same thing
Yeah.
here, or this is an extension of what they've seen. Now, when they see any disconnect in that, there are very slim
shaky.
chances that you go
Yeah.
through that. And even when you do, they start to like, that's another topic for another day, but like they start to be on top of you and micromanage you and try to see if, so just make sure you have consistent branding across. If you say you be like one guy I know that bashes people on Twitter, be like that and stay true to yourself.
Me, I like this. So yeah, I like if like so you can mention names, we'll post and add to them. You know, I think still on the branding part, like people do their research and all that, and this is why what you post online is important because I think the design junkies made an episode about it. People tweet something and be like, "What I tweet is not me." Or just
I'm not my tweets.
see, they'll come and look at it. Oh, people are when I was on campus, I remember I was not so active on Twitter, but I remember somebody lost a job because they came to see like her past tweets from before, and she was bashing this particular company she was going to, and not in a good way. I mean, it's different if you are giving feedback, but like, bro, you want to work with them. You're, and this is the rule. Nobody cares if you've changed or not. Too. Still on it.
But that's it. Even to that point, it's not necessarily like it wasn't like she wanted to work with them. The job fell on her lap and then she just took it. And so now they'll ask you if you're tweeting this and you say that's not you. What exactly are your ideals and who are you? Because why are you talking about something that is not you? Anyway.
Okay. What's like your favorite thing about the whole Unscripted show?
Oh,
You can be.
can I go first?
Yeah.
I've learned so much about money. I'll say much after that. See, for me, money has always been a big deal, and the people closer to me will know that New Money has done so much for
New
you.
money. You've done so much for you.
Hey, I've done a lot. At least, even if it's not free, I would say I've done so much work that,
Friends and family.
yeah, that's of course there's some form of value, but it's not something I can use to buy a new computer. and like Raygan interviewing all these creators, them talking about how they get their money. In fact, how they go about their whole process has been, once again, insightful for me. Like, I actually have to say thank you for just doing that. Like, I don't think from just me. So many people want to know about money. So many people. Last time, I even wanted to come out and say that creatives, we don't really know, like, our value. And I'm not the first person saying it. Like,
yeah, true.
I think I've even heard it on your channel. Like,
Minister said that the last
it's those things that you hear and you're like, it's true. Because I want to charge somebody and I don't even know the standard price.
Yeah.
Like, I tell somebody that I'm charging for $50 and they're like, $50 is not. And then you go and tell another person, see, $50 is kind of low, but I'm doing it for you. And then they're like, can you bring it down a bit? and then like, that's what keeps, and I don't want to bring it down to just Ghana. I think it's just Ghana because I've worked with international people and they pay way high. They don't ask questions. But more of the people, like right here in Ghana, it's never fluid. I can never mention my price and then they'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's always like feedback. There's always a loop.
So
yeah.
the people that are charging are scared to mention a higher price. And the people that want the work done also don't want to pay higher price because they don't value the work that's being done.
the quality.
They want the quality. And now the people that have to charge, like the creatives, they start thinking. I think Joshua mentioned it at the interview. They start thinking, hey, if I mention too high and they run away, I mean, I lose the money. If I mean, those things. So like, this one has a problem. On the receiving end of that problem, there's no going to stop. Ghanaians don't like paying high money.
Exactly. But one of the things I want to add is that it's, to an extent, or for me, it was a disadvantage to me because even if I do accept to work with you, when you're already paying me low, I care about the work I always produce. That's one of the things about me. So just because like you're paying less doesn't mean I'm going to reduce the quality of my work because somebody else is going to see it and then they'll know that this was done by me. So then I'm still going to give you all my quality and you're not giving me my price. That's very unfair.
My mom will tell you that once you've accepted to do the job, after all the discussions, and the person said they're paying you 1 CD, and you guys have agreed on certain terms, you have to keep your word and then do what you're supposed to. So if I tell you, oh, I'm managing your socials for you and I'll take 10 CDs, and then like now I start getting the 10 CDs, and I'm like, so I'm doing all this for 10 CDs. Let me not do too much. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's your word. You've given your word to someone and you have to stick by it. And so I mean, it's good that you don't compromise on quality when that's.
I think your dad mentioned something like that. Your I've forgotten the exact words he put it, but basically, if you're going to get a new job, you use the previous work you did as a portfolio. That's like what you're going to do. So if you do bad work, I mean.
And you know some creatives do work that they don't want in their portfolio because they know.
No, see, I'm victim. There are some
You've
things
done
I've
so
worked
much.
that are never coming on my portfolio.
I mean, it can't go waste though. You can revisit them and then and then like make it better. And then it also shows the fact that you are a continuous learner, so you can do that.
Mama Ivy. No, the way we were talking to you, or you didn't realize, I was giving Mama 5. Like, please, your favorite thing about Unscripted.
I know I like all the episodes, but my favorite thing is having to see Raygan on camera.
Oh God. Because of what?
No, it's not. Yeah, he's a fine boy. Yeah, we get that. But Raygan doesn't like to be on camera. And so for him to like take that initiative and then be doing this and be on camera, that's my favorite thing about it. The second thing is how the conversations flow, because I've seen people who say they are TV presenters and they can't do half of what Raygan is doing. The conversations don't flow. Like they give them scripted questions and they ask, what is your name? The person talks, and there are so many things that you can base on what they said in the beginning, but then they move on. Where did you live?
Oh, we are saying.
Yeah, I said my story though, because I feel like, and I was telling somebody the last time, nobody taught me about hosting, nobody taught me about media, but it's just conversation.
It's conversation.
You don't meet somebody and say, oh, I want to know you, and then what's your name? What's your age? When they say their name and they add their story, you pick something from there, because that's what's actually going on here.
Exactly. Like if I mention my name and you're not sure of which part of Ghana I come from. Because, so where do you come from? I tell you Adan. Oh, which part of Adan? Yeah. That's a conversation. So at the end of the day, you get to know more about me and who I am based on where I'm coming from. And you don't even know my age. You know, it's not important. Favorite color, favorite color, favorite food. What are your likes and dislikes? Even the dating WhatsApp, they are not using that anymore. So yeah, those are my favorite things so far. And I like the fact that he has also brought on like not just creatives, but as he said, entrepreneurs, people that we can learn from. Raygan is literally putting them out and telling you that this is someone that can mentor you. This is someone you can be like, he's giving you role models, you know?
Please, your turn.
Yeah, so the first thing would be like I said, like seeing Raygan on camera. It's really nice. Most importantly, because like I always mostly say, like every single like you can see the growth in every episode. I don't know about anybody else, but I do. Like with every episode, you see the growth, like you see the improvements, and like the guests just keep getting better. Like it's just like I get people who don't have favorites. Like when you go to comment section, people say, "Oh, my favorite episode." The next one comes, my favorite episode. It's everybody's favorite
People are not
episode.
good people.
No, it's not that. It's like every time you talk,
It means
your
I'm
life.
getting better.
Exactly what
It
I
means
said.
I'm getting
Like
better.
that's it. So like it's so nice to see and like watch. The next thing would be the practicality. Like it's just so relatable. Like I mean, they are like he brings on industry players, like the top guys, but like the way they tell their story or the way he kind of guides them to the story, you just can't relate. And like you just like pick lessons from everything. Like it's so easy to learn from them. Like it's not hard. Because I watch some interviews and like, oh my god, what is this guy saying? Like it's just so hard to understand.
Too
anything.
technical.
Seriously, like can't even relate. But like it's so relatable, so funny. And like it's just really nice, honestly. I think those are the things I like about the script.
And I think this is what also happens when you're churning out content for an audience that finds value and are interested in what you're doing. So if your content is if I'm watching like a YouTube video and it talks about finance and they're mentioning like all the terms and I have no business being there, you get me? Yeah, so this is so Raygan,
You give me your feedback or your favorite thing. So now your feedback. What would you like to see? Because season 2 will be coming out soon. Who would you want to see on the show? What would you want added? What would you want changed?
Please censor this part.
No, it's coming. Oh, coming. Yeah, what would you want to see changed, added? Who do you want us to bring on? Anyone can go.
Surprise us. I don't
No,
think,
please.
Maybe
I
I'm
want to hear
not
from
really
you.
like. I don't have anybody in mind. Like,
Yeah, but what do you want to see changed? For example, I mean, season 1, we didn't used to do this whole repeat and complete session part, right? But then when we added that, it was like, most of the guests, when the interview starts, they're like, what's the word? Like, imagine I don't know if I should put like,
Yeah.
But then that part counts,
Spray.
But then that part comes in like, relax, because it's just fun. So what else do you think we can add in the next season? What can we change? What can we remove? What can we add?
I mean, I'm honestly the wrong person to ask because, like I said, if you put out like the weirdest things, I won't watch. So,
One thing I want to see is I want to, I don't know if it's too early to request this, but I want you to go back and interview the people that you started with.
so like, season 1 reloaded.
Yes.
Okay.
Or I don't know, like Design Junkies, you guys have something that you do called a year apart, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. I want like to, because really it's nice to come and talk a big game and talk about continuous learning, but yeah, after some time when we come back to you, I shouldn't be hearing the same thing. Or even if I'm hearing the same thing, I should hear like explanations that are tailored to the time that we're in.
Right.
So that's one thing I'll probably request. And I think you should also look at doing some of the remote recordings. The one you did with Rebus was really good. I don't know if it's because he's also like someone who knows how to do his cameras and blah, blah, blah.
Because he's someone who wants to.
But then, I mean, then you can find people like that who are good in that. I think that one to help because we've seen Rebus, we all follow him, we like his content,
Or if you travel and go and interview people, would that be easier?
Well, I was coming to that part. So I think that would also be great to have that kind of thing. So you reach out to people, not necessarily just Ghanaians, but people that would, and I want to see it like be a mixture of Ghanaians, like so many people in Africa, because there are some things that we can pick. Even though we are all in Africa, I understand that from a podcast I listened to with Kofi Graham on it, I realized that South Africa is embracing the creator economy than other countries are. And so to have people from that side is like they've reached there, they're telling you like some of the things to expect. So we have something to also look forward to. I like your tours, like with spaces and all of that. I want to see maybe like a day in the life of you following someone the whole day.
Yeah. So one of the boys requested for this. I mean, brought this up, and I think it's a good idea. The problem is, like camera. Sometimes some things you want to. I mean, the problem is like getting the time to do that. But I've reached out to one YouTuber, and something like that is probably going to happen. It will not be a day. It will be like 2 weeks. Put into one.
My last one.
Sorry?
When am I?
When are you coming on the show?
Yeah, when am I?
But you're not
coming on
here.
the show? No, not like this. My own episode.
Your own episode. When do you want to come?
Let me know. I can make time for you, Raygan.
Okay, sure. So we'll do that in season 3. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have another last one? Anyone, do you want to say anything?
So for me, I think the show's been really great, but one, I don't want to make this look like a personal thing, but it's probably a personal thing. So for me, I watch so much YouTube, but the thing that I would say probably the hardest obstacle I had to overcome to watch you was that your videos are long.
The length.
But then again, when you start watching, you understand how. Because when I start watching, I mean, I know I'm watching a 1 hour video, and before I realize I'm done. But that's only after I've clicked the video. But when I'm about to click the video and I see like 57,
I also feel the same.
57 minutes, I'm like, media 57 minutes.
Anytime I
Like,
see a podcast,
So-
that's why.
so my idea is, I actually have 2, so I'll mention a second one after this. But if you could do like a mini series, something where like, I don't know, because I'm the kind of person, if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm clicking it.
Yeah.
Especially if like I'm very familiar with you, I've watched a lot of your videos. Sometimes even if you go the extremes to like 27, 35 minutes. Yes. Yeah, that's extreme.
So what I had in mind for that was kind of repurposing the content, because I'm sure you know Ali Abdul, right? So he does this deep dive, and what he does is his is even longer, 2 hours and stuff, right? They pick. I'm going to bash the team for this because I asked that like we do that, but they didn't follow up on that. So like they pick like 10 minutes of each episode where maybe the person is talking about a particular topic and push it out there. So maybe this person A can see that video and watch that and be like, oh, this is nice. Let me go and watch the full thing.
Yeah.
Because somebody will see, like you're saying, even me, when I see a long video, sometimes I have to think about it and be like, okay, sure, I think I have that 2 hours to spare, so let me watch it. So maybe we can do like that repurposing of the content, but then also I feel like we'll make it too much.
I have a solution too.
Yeah, talk to me.
I mean, aside from even repurposing the content, I also don't like long YouTube content. But here's what I do. Like when I wake up, I one thing that maybe you can add is like, how do you call those things? So that when people are scrolling,
The chapters,
the chapters.
Yeah,
That's one thing
we
you
added
can-
for some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. What I normally do is I watch part of the video when I'm getting ready in the morning. Like, and I don't necessarily watch it, I listen. So I use like a Bluetooth device or a speaker, and then I connect and I listen. So I'm not tied to the phone. Yeah. And if I can watch like 15 minutes while getting ready, when I sit in the car and I'm driving to work, I'll do the same thing. I can't watch, obviously. So some of the things I'll mess up on some of the mannerisms and the facial expressions that go on, but I'm listening to the information. When I get to work, I have to stop because I can't be listening to that. Yeah, so sometimes when I'm coming back from work, I continue. And it helps, especially when you're taking notes, you know where you left off and how you continue and how you relate the two sides of the things. I hate watching it. Unless it's a movie, you won't get me to watch it. But for some reason, I found a way to work around that. And it works for me. Maybe you can try it too.
Well, mine was actually very, very different. Me, if I'm watching something long, it's on a TV. So that was how I was able to overcome it. Yeah, fortunately, I just like tuning in.
I think the
TV
phone was designed for short form
content.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so-
Also for my second
thing.
idea, this is more like an idea or something that, and I think I already have, hey, my English is about to fail me. I already have a flaw in this idea that if you can get around, I think it will be great. But you know, when people watch people, like if I'm watching your videos, sometimes they would like to have their voice in it. So like, let's say, oh, can you ask this person a question for me? I don't know if you remember that thing that people used to do. So you come out, you're like, oh, I'm interviewing, you've already interviewed Kojo Sheldon, but I'm going to use them. You come out, I'm interviewing Kojo Sheldon, then, you know, some people want to ask Sheldon questions. Then you have like a small section.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what happens when people don't know who you're interviewing? Then
I mean, if you're interested in the content and he tells you he's interviewing this person, I'm sure you add their profiles, like maybe their Instagram pages, share their pages. You can go and find out what they do. Yeah.
Because it's also something we have, I think I was telling Sharon, for the round table. I was going to mention the name. When will this episode? No, I'm not mentioning that. So for the round table, there'll be a video out requested for questions from the audience, because I feel like there's going to be a discussion, and at the end I want to ask, I'm sure people have specific questions. You see the fit correct? People have specific questions for Sheldon. So something like that. But then unscripted, the reason we're not able to do that was like the way we got, and you were asking me this question, some of the guests, some of them were like impromptu, like, oh, I think we want to interview this person. We reach out to them, like, let's fix it here. So there's no time to kind of like put it out there. And there were some too that I wanted to be like a surprise, sort of like, oh, for one time somebody saw the video with Akowa. She was so surprised. I mean, it was after we recorded, but like she was so surprised. So like sometimes like, oh, how are you able to, you know, that kind of stuff. But to answer your question about how some of them I send them an email, an official email, then I text them on Instagram. The people I have a relationship with, sometimes I do that, sometimes I just reach out to them on Instagram. My messages are long sometimes. Type long messages and then add some of the videos and then just wait for their responses. Okay, repeat and complete. I didn't want to make this episode long, so we'll go it one by one. Cool? Or you want to say something? Yeah,
I'm fine.
all right. I'll start with you. I'm not going to explain what it is. If you don't get it wrong, bring your head and answer. When I'm not working, you can find me.
I'm home sleeping.
Bring your head. Bring your head. Bring
When
your
I'm
head.
not working, he can find me.
It's a repeat and complete. Bring your head.
Oh!
When I'm not working, you can find me.
When I'm not working, you can find me at home and sleeping.
Okay. One thing people would be surprised to know about me is
One thing people will be surprised to know about me is
I'm married.
One thing people will be surprised to know about me is I'm not an airway, but yeah, people seem to think I'm an airway just by looking at me. So
That was it. The first app I open in the morning is
The first what?
app open in the morning is?
Oh, Meta Business Suite. Because I have work to
I know
do.
what that is.
If I could have any superpower, it would be.
The ability to.
If I could have any.
If I could have any superpower, the ability to get everything Raygan says in his video without watching.
That's a cheat. My favorite way to unwind after a long day is.
Cook. My favorite thing.
Favorite way to unwind.
My favorite way to unwind after a long day is to cook.
Yeah, I've tried that food before. The bread you gave me yesterday, my goodness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I would go to
Mozambique. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I'd go to Mozambique.
If I could swap lives with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap lives with
anyone
for a day, it would be Ashley Janelle. She's a fashion creator and she owns an agency. She's in Germany.
If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be.
If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be scrambled eggs.
You knew what you were going to say. It's not food. It's not food.
I can eat 1 crate of egg in 2 days.
If I could swap jobs with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap jobs with anyone for a day, it would be with this one.
Me. My job is boring.
No, not the UI. The unscripted. I would do it with all my heart.
We invited you to come for a live recording. You never came.
Where was that?
You asked me when was that? The day you had to go for a class or a lecture or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, new money.
Okay,
When I'm not working.
Okay, I'm ready.
No, when I'm not working, you can find me.
Probably sleeping. When I'm not working, you can find me sleeping.
One thing people will be surprised to know about me is.
One thing people will be surprised to know about me is that name money is my actual name.
Yeah, true. The first app I open in the morning is.
The first app I open in the morning is Instagram.
If I could have any superpower, it would be.
If I could have any superpower, it would be to show people like some of the things that are going in my mind.
Huh.
Similar, no, hear me out. It's similar to what I'm already doing. Like sometimes, when I create my animations and things, the only thing I regret is that people don't see the inspiration. Because not even the process. Every time I think about something, it's so cool in my mind. I put it out there and I'm like, this is not what was in my mind. I mean, people still love my work and I'm grateful for all my friends, but like, there's nowhere near what I was already thinking about.
Yeah. Charlie, many people know what goes on in my mind. But
not like everything, but like the main things I want to show them.
My favorite way to unwind after a long day is.
It'll be to sleep.
My favorite way to unwind after.
My favorite way to unwind after a long day is to sleep.
If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I would go to.
If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I would go to. I don't know.
It's fine. If I could swap lives with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap lives with anyone for a day, it would be MKBHD. I really love that guy. Like the way he is and everything, yeah.
If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be.
I could only eat one food for the rest of my life. Rice, already.
Boring. If I could swap jobs with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap jobs with anyone. Also not sure about that.
I'm not sure. Not MKBHD safe.
Maybe MK, but I don't know. It's complicated, but no.
Yapa.
That guy's name is a mouthful.
When I'm not working, you can find me. Yapping.
When I'm not working, I talk.
You can find me.
So when I'm not working, you can find me like watching YouTube videos.
That's up when I work. So real. One thing people will be surprised to know about me is.
One thing people will be surprised to know about me is nothing. I've already said everything anybody has to know about me. Like I've said it.
The first app I open in the morning is.
The first app I open in the morning is the app I sleep on because I sleep off on my phone. So
that's a bad thing. If I could have any superpower, it would be.
If I could have any superpower, it would be the ability to, like, as he said, like, kind of. But for me, it's like when people see my thought process when like I put anything else.
I lost the opportunity to be my sister, but okay. My favorite way to unwind after a long day is.
Favorite way to unwind after a long day is like rewatching Unscripted.
I'm fooling.
Oh, Raygan.
Accra. No problem. I believe you. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I would go to.
If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I would go to South Korea.
Because of Kim.
Yeah.
If that's
Lee
the name.
Min-ho, to be
Lee
precise.
Min-ho.
I'm guessing that's like some BTS person.
No, he's a K-pop actor. Okay.
If I could swap lives with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap lives with anybody for a day,
Not me, please.
no, you.
Better. Wait, who?
If I could swap lives with anybody for a day, it would be Auntie Sandra. Please don't ask me who that is. Thank
That's
you.
my
Next
mother.
question. How'd you say it?
You want to be my mother?
Not your mother. I want to swap lives with her for a day.
That would make you my mother. If I could only eat one
Getting
food.
personal.
Eh? If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be.
One food for the rest of my life, it would be fried yam or fried potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Yes.
If I could swap jobs with anyone for a day, it would be.
If I could swap jobs with anybody for a day, it would be anybody on Raygan's team. So yeah, you guys should bring your jobs to me. Let's switch roles.
Anyways, one more question. I think I asked earlier. No, but yeah, good opportunity too. Only Ivy and I understand. Boom. That was a good. She's smart. One question. If you don't have an answer, it's fine. Who would you want us to bring on for the next season? Do you have anybody in mind? I think you mentioned Kofi Graham.
Yeah, coffee ground.
Anybody else?
Me.
Yeah, sorry. If I don't do it, I will finish me.
I'm actually not sure.
I'm not sure. You
Yeah.
don't have anyone. You don't want to even
That's
see me.
good.
That's good.
Oh, you want to interview yourself?
I feel like all the people I've wanted to see
Yeah,
have already
already
come
been
here.
there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You'll be
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be like, I know you bring somebody and I'm like, whoa. So
Wait for it.
Anyways, you did the introduction, so you do the closing.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you're seeing this, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll be in the comments, replying the comments as always. See ya. Only share, reply the comments like in my channel.
Okay, and we are out.
Hi guys, welcome to Raygan's YouTube.
No.